welcome to this month's edition of Around the Console. I do have to apologise, though, folks. I'm going to put you on hold for a few minutes because I am actually just online having a really heated exchange with Donald Trump about fake news because I've been doing some history stuff and he's just saying that I'm talking a load of crap. I have said emphatically, and you will understand this, listeners, and I promise I'll be really quick, that the Luddites, well, that was nothing to do with history, really. It was about the Rani and creating and taking away testosterone so people couldn't sleep and they got angry. And he's like, no, it's nothing. It's about the Industrial Revolution. Then Donald Trump comes back and says that the dinosaurs were killed by a meteor or something. And it's like, no, what the hell? It's a Cyberman. And then finally, I mean, as if he knows fuck all about English traditions, he says that the Great Fire of London and the Black Plague were caused by what, a baker or something? It's the pterodactyls. He has no idea about social history whatsoever. Anyway, I'll pause that. I'll put Donald Trump on side. He's not going anywhere anyway. And in the meantime, I'll introduce my regular friends, my other Doctor Whovian lovers, and that is, of course, Mr. John, Mr. Bob, and Mr. Suky. Hello, gentlemen. Not seen you for ages.
I know. How you, Craig? That was. I had no idea what you were talking about, but that was good, actually. That was good.
Grab a glass of water.
Yeah.
Did you just come up with that on the fly about a minute before we started?
Literally right there.
You're
there's the notes next to it.
Fucking nutcase, you are.
Yeah,
I am, but Donald Trump just came to me in fake news, literally. While the fucking John.
I'm just gonna clip the bit that says Donald Trump just came for me. I'm just gonna clip that bit, and I'll use that for my ringtone.
Donald Trump came for me.
Him. Yeah, be careful, because if you're listening, folks, he'll be listening to this conversation, obviously. And apologies to anyone that think Donald Trump is sane. Anyway, today we're doing something far more important than talking about Donald Trump, because that's yesterday's news. Yesterday, we're talking about news from the 1980s and the Peter Davison Visitation storyline. Season 20, is it, Suky, he says?
19.
19, I get mixed up. Season 19 is the series. Initial thoughts? Well, thank you, first of all, to Liam. For putting this on my behalf in the last episode. I do like the Visitation, a slight kind of.
Oh, in fact, Craig, sorry to interrupt you, but he was on obviously because you weren't on, and we invited him on anyway. What did you think of the last episode of Doctor Who, the last season?
It was absolutely terrible. Broke my heart. I thought the ending was just a pile of rubbish. I thought the whole I'm shifting time by a few seconds so I can make the baby Poppy kind of become real. I thought that was terrible. I felt very sorry for Russell T Davies because he obviously had to do all those edits because of Ncuti deciding he wanted to go. Although I have to say I'd rather have had the ending we got than the rumoured ending of Poppy and Susan watching in the distance at the party. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was truly terrible. It broke my heart.
Because you liked everything else pretty much, didn't you, apart from that?
No, I hated Omega. Omega was appalling. What a waste of time Omega was. Not only did it look ridiculous, what was the whole point in having there for a three-second thing? What a waste of a baddie. The Rani, fantastic right throughout. Did I like the rest of the series? Yes, I did. But the ending is one of the worst endings in Doctor Who history. Yeah, I'm even more ranty about it than I was that one with Peter Capaldi all that time ago. And I can't remember what it's called now because I blocked it from my memory. It really was that bad to me.
Because we were quite positive, weren't we? I think, you know.
Oh, yeah, I think.
I can't
John,
remember
you're muted.
It might have been John, I think, on one of our D&D things. He was like, yeah, we were very positive. I was like,
Yeah.
No, didn't move for about between 5 and 10 minutes afterwards. I genuinely didn't move from the sofa when Billy Piper's face appeared, and all I kept going was, "Fuck, what's he done? What's he done?" And in the end, Matt came through and did the whole. Will you pull yourself together?
Did you listen back to us the episode that we recorded?
No, I haven't, because I have nothing to do. That episode does not exist in my head, Suky. I don't know what you're talking about. It is that bad. I never even didn't go back. I didn't go back at all.
Oh,
it
wow.
It was truly terrible.
Could have been
truly,
a very different,
truly broke my heart.
Very different podcast then, Craig.
Yeah.
If you'd have been on it.
Would have been if I was there. The best bit about it, Jodie Whittaker. Now,
Yeah, she was
she
brilliant,
was
wasn't
amazing.
she? Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah, it was just shocking.
Right.
Beyond words shocking. Unlike what we think of this story now, Peter Davison, as we know, listeners, and you might not know this, but I'm assuming you do because you're Whovians, has come out and said that the current stories on Doctor Who are losing their storyline in favor of CGI and what is it, kind of clickbait and kind of getting headlines, and it's getting too confusing. Now, personally, having watched The Visitation, I'm not quite sure there's that much of a story in there, but there's probably much more grip and emotion than there is in some of the more recent stories. Anyway, that's enough about me. What about you? That's in line with my set line as well. Sorry. Suki, what did you think of The Visitation?
Visitation has always been one of my favourite Davison stories. It's just, I was, about 11, 12 when it was shown, and it had monsters. Peter Davison was a delight. The companions were great. The shock of losing the sonic screwdriver was just, I couldn't believe they got rid of it. And it's always been like a favourite, but as you watch it now, with today's eyes, it's, as Craig says, there isn't much of a story there. It's just the Teleptor trying to get back, and then the revelation at the end, connecting with English history. But nostalgia wise, I think it's a delight. I think it's a great story. So it's positive, really.
Sounds very positive. John,
Well,
can you say it in French, please, John?
oui, c'est ne a fait pas.
Okay,
That's
and now
as good.
for our
I
non-bilingual
can't do it.
listeners,
That's all I can do.
Just do it like Renee from Hello Hello.
No, I'm not
I
going
was just
to.
fishing by the door. That's the policeman, isn't it?
Crabtree.
Well, thank you, Liam, for picking this. But we saw this as Proctor Who I don't know even when, but as soon as I pressed play on it and I was watching the first thing, I'm thinking, Adric's been a bit of a whiny little bugger. The Doctor's not been very listening. I think, hang on, and then I've seen it before. So I turned it off and then said to myself, well, I obviously have seen it before, so this review is going to be dead easy. So yeah, it's got some great actors in it and Adric, and then it's a Doctor Who story. I'm not sure what I could offer you now, guys, to be honest.
You give some kind of amazing insight into kind of like the hidden
Yeah,
stories that you haven't spotted.
Yeah. It's set in the puritanical times. So it got to use some of the old BBC, costumes and stuff like that. So
positive from what you can remember from recording.
Positive? I don't recall it. It might have been positive, might not have been positive, but I imagine I was being positive for you guys' sake. So we'll go with that level, like that before. Yeah.
Thank you, John. Bobster, right. What did you think of The Visitation?
I've seen it a lot. And I really, really enjoy it. So it's a bit like, watching it again because it's one I've seen a loads. But I really enjoyed it. I think is it Michael Robbins, Richard Mace character?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The guy that plays him. I think he's just brilliant. I think they're all. Yeah, I think it's kind of on it. The historical thing. It looks good. Well directed. Yeah, and the story's crash landing. We're going to take over Earth by plaguing everyone. That was, it was his sort of thing that he's doing with the plague and all that sort of stuff. Cool robot. Yeah, it's a joy. I like this one a lot. And yeah, the death of the sonic screwdriver, massive. Always remember that. And then just cool. Yeah, good.
I mean, Baker not have a sonic screwdriver then, or
No.
Sylvester?
No, this was a death of the sonic screwdriver until the movie.
Okay. Quite interesting. I'd never really twigged that they.
It was massive. Like it was like big moment in Doctor Who because they didn't like the sonic screwdriver, JNT and Eric Saywood, so they got rid of it. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, John Nathan Turner got rid of it. Eric Saywood thought there was a box full of them in the TARDIS.
Oh, was it JNT then?
Yeah, JNT was the one that got rid of it. Eric Saywood wrote it out for the story, thinking the Doctor will just go pick another one up out of the TARDIS.
Oh, no, it's a big moment in Doctor Who. Big.
Come on, Craig.
Yeah.
Craig, what do you think?
I'm very much like you guys, really. It's a beautiful 80s nostalgia trip. I I actually remember loving this as a child. It has a really special place in my Doctor Who heart. Um, it's beautiful, it's well filmed, it's slow paced, but it does have a story in there. Exactly what you said, Bob. And that twist at the end, I loved. And there was a bit of a run of that, wasn't there? Really, because they had it again with the Cybermen in the next story, I think it was. And I just really loved it. I remember thinking they were cool. The pterodactyls, the android was fantastic. Yeah, I really liked it. Tegan was typically Tegan, which I love to hate. Nissa just hangs around the TARDIS doing her own thing with some vibrating machine, and Adric is just so whiny. It's like I love it. I do really like it. It should be one of those that you want to rip apart because it's kind of not much goes on, but at the same time it does, and it's just really beautiful. I love this story a lot. So thank you, Liam, for choosing it on my behalf. So that's our first impressions. So I'm going to come to John now because he's got such a great memory of it.
John's
Obviously,
like,
we're
leave
going
me
to go
alone.
into deep.
No, I'll take any question. I'm confident in
did
my
you-
ability to bullshit, Craig. So give me him.
Did,
Yeah.
did you think that the kind of the use of the Grim Reaper was like a foretelling of doom throughout the story? Then, John,
I don't recall there being a Grim Reaper there.
I mean, it was there quite a lot, John. And yeah.
Was it? Oh
Yeah.
no.
It
That
was
was
the
I was a
robot dressed
gamble.
up in disguise.
That was a
Yeah.
gamble. I was hoping that Craig was taking a Mickey there, but he wasn't, was he? Oh shit.
No,
No.
I think I kind of love all that sort of element of it. You know, the android dressing as the Grim Reaper, the mutation of the rats for the plague, and all that kind of stuff. I love all the mind control, and I also love the fact that the opening is like 5 minutes of the setup, and then it's like a year later. So they kind of establish themselves, or whatever it is.
A lot of I never realised that. How did that? Did I miss something there?
What do you mean?
What? How do we know it's a year later?
Well, no, I'm
'Cause
saying
in
it's
all the years I've watched.
I think it's either mentioned or it just feels like there's time. It's a certain time later when they arrive and the pterodactyls set themselves up, you know, in the thing, you know, in the world, taking control of the locals and things like that, and then using them for his whatever. I think it's like quite an unusual thing, and I think like I say, the bits that we know from history, you know, obviously the ending's quite big, with the Fire of London, but the plague, death. You know, these things are kind of like used, I think, really well. I think Eric Sayers delivered a really strong script for me.
I was kind of hoping that I was kind of hoping that all this stuff would trigger some sort of memory in me, but I've got nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
You're trying to wing it, and I love the fact more than anything you were honest about winging it. So therefore, we can really push it.
It's only because I don't respect you, Craig. I'm happy to say anything.
See, I was thinking because soon as you put in our little group chat, the original.
Yeah, I was
video,
up front with
I
it.
thought you might actually watch that video and come back with your thoughts from there.
No.
But
I thought they'd even I just put that effort into watching YouTube.
No, none of that shit happened. No, I'm sorry, lads.
Just going back to that initial scene. It's nice seeing John Savidant, who at that time
Fred,
was just a
Fred.
It was just a character actor. He appeared in loads of stuff. And he was just as a jobbing actor. He just turned up and did this little role. And the son, is Anthony Carf, and who this time round I recognised straight away was from the Dennis Waterman crime thing, New Tricks. He was the boss in there. He's been in loads of things, and he came back years later in the one that was set on Mars with the Ice Warriors.
Yes.
As the English soldier on that. So it's just nice seeing these actors in there. But having this little character piece right at the beginning of this family actually dying, trying to defend their home, and then not being used in the whole story basically at all. I thought it was a great way to set the story up. And you don't see the pterodactyl at all.
Sorry, in the new series that would have been the introduction. Then you'd have had the cliff. Then you've had the introduction titles, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So tease to begin with, it's set in the scene, set in the period, set in the mood, and you get a bit of family dynamics going on as well, and then the fear that comes out. I really, it's almost like a long introduction on a song that sets you up, and then the song just goes elsewhere.
But it was quite. They never really did it on Doctor Who. It was always like TARDIS. You know, you see it through the Doctor's eyes or whatever. They never tended to do like a lengthy intro like that. You know, they do it now. And I thought it was ace.
But at that time, it was always a TARDIS scene that always
Yeah.
started the episode because it was like they were always used to running to the next
We're
story.
landing here and off we go.
And there you go. But this having to start with whatever was happening.
Well, it's because
Manor House.
it had the backstory, didn't it? So they land, but you need the backstory. So it was like, to what had happened rather than it was interesting, way of doing it.
What I liked as well, though, is like you said, the backstory was there, but the backstory was continued in the TARDIS as well. Because when we first joined the TARDIS, you've got Tegan reminiscing about her mind being taken over by the Mara and explaining it to Nyssa, which I actually really liked because I loved that. It was almost like soap opera, wasn't it? I think that's what it was going with. It was a continuation. So you had the whole setup of this new story, but then you went straight back in to Snake Dance. I get mixed up, Snake Dance or
Kinder.
what's the one called?
Kinder.
Kinder
But it was
first, isn't it?
JNT liked that element of talking about like the last episode. I mean, they used to do it in Hartnell era, didn't they? A little bit.
Yes.
They'd continue whatever was happening from the previous week in the TARDIS with the next adventure. But these were shot in a weird order. So you had Fort to Doomsday, the Visitation, Kinder. So Kinder wasn't shot after, which is why she slightly mispronounces Myra or Mara, whatever you want to, however you want to say it. And then Castrovalva was filmed finally, and JNT put out there that it was because they wanted Peter Davison to grow into the role before he did his first one. It wasn't. It's just Castrovalva was a mess, so they had to shoot it in this order. So this was like what they didn't know what they were talking about because they'd not filmed Kinder yet. So it was quite a production sounds quite intriguing on in this particular season. But it was cool. I liked all that. For me, my favourite part, like I say, I think Michael Robbins, I hope he's got his name right, was Richard Mace. Is one of my favourite characters in Doctor Who. I think he's that good. I think he's brilliant. I think he's pitched it perfectly. Endearing, entertaining. Apparently, he used to wear white trousers with a medallion and an open shirt when he walked in and all that. He's all right. There's something about him. He's with him and Peter Davison. It's quite a brilliant, thing. And he pitches, like I say, pitches it all really well. It starts off like full thespian whatever, but when things sort of get darker, he really strips it back. He's just phenomenal. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favourite. I'd love to see him come back. I mean, he never will, but it'd be a good one to come back.
See, I'm watching Michael
like the Doctor
Robbins.
in this. Sorry, Suky, go on.
I was just going to say, I'm watching Michael Robbins right now because I'm doing a watch of. I started watching On the Buses, and he's such a different character actor from that because in there he's quite obnoxious and in your face, and he was always picking a fight with Reg Vardy. And this he was like a pompous over the top actor trying to understand what's going on, but basically sort of a coward. I don't really want to be here. I'm collecting my stuff, and he's the character really does stand out amongst most of the characters in this season, and I did like Michael Robbins as Richard Mace. Really, really good character in this story.
I'm assuming his hair is a wig because I love his hair in it, but I'd love because he's actually a handsome guy, and that wig. When they're at the barn scene, and he takes off, must be a hat or something. Watch to see if his wig moved deliberately, but it didn't, and it was like really.
Oh, he loved it. Apparently, he loved it because he was bald, so he was like, really embellishing the hair. But apparently, the budget for hair and wigs and beards was quite high in this because all the sort of male cast members or a lot of the extras and stuff like that, they all had a wig or a beard or whatever. So it was a high budget on
a lot of extras in it as well, including the donkey, which is fantastic.
Yeah. It was just it's a lot of fun because the pterodactyl's not particularly scary. I think it could be scary, but it's kind of.
I don't know, that scene when it's melting is really.
It's pretty gruesome.
It's not melting; it's being burnt alive, and bubbles come out of its head.
I just mean like I think it could be a terrifying concept. It's meant to be a super strong reptile.
Yes.
Prisoner, whatever it is, but it looks a bit daft with its short little arms.
Yeah.
And classic rubbery monsters.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
but the actor inside does a terrific job because it's like it's quite well played. Like he's voicing how he's doing things, like that kind of thing. But I think obviously 80s bright lights, everything's just on display, and it is what it is. But pterodactyls would be a good one
to come
to
back.
bring back, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they we've had the rhinos with the Jadoon, haven't we? We've had what else we've had? We've had lots of animal type manifestations in Doctor Who. So to bring back a reptile would be quite good. And pterodactyls would be because you've got the whole prison that he talks about, and escaping from there and the sentence of death. So I think you're right. I think they would be quite scary if done properly now.
Yeah.
Well, for the time, it's a really good monster for the time because it also had the animatronic mouth movements that it had to be able to convey that it was talking. And of course, you can always because the mouth just stayed open, but the lips were going up and down, right? So you can always put it across in your own head that the TARDIS was translating whatever the creature was saying, so you can get away with that. But the look of the creatures were quite a decent look. It is, as Craig says, it's a pity they do look very rubbery, especially Mike Amelia's character, the first one, the original, the one with the burnt head, like the acid one, because the actual holes in his face do look a bit wrong. It doesn't seem to because they've got like black holes underneath. If they'd have like shown like bits of bone or skin underneath, it might have got away with it.
Which
maybe
they would do now, and
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not.
But it kind of just makes it all as kind of to the fun of it for me, I think, really, or whatever you want
When
to
they
call
start to walk around in their little kind of, I don't know, their little hub, and you see, like you said, the arms right by them, the little human legs walking with the green rubbery tights, and that's when you think, oh, Blair, so this is proper 1980s budget Doctor Who. But
It's
I did
cool.
also like the Doctor in this, because I think a lot of people say, how Peter Davison's Doctor is soft and quite
No, he's very
malleable, but
William Hartnell, proper channeling his William Hartnell in this.
he does. It's like that bit when he talks about when I said before about Nissa's explaining to sorry, Tegan's explaining to Nissa, and he goes, "Oh, the doctor said nothing happened on Vida Loca," and he's like, "That's what he would say." He dismissed the fact that she got possessed, and also when he goes outside to apologize for his outburst or not getting Tegan back by missing by 300 years, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like. You can tell he's like, I don't give a
I mean,
shit. I've got
basically,
to...
he hates Tegan and Adric and just likes Nissa. That's
Yeah.
and that's how he comes across. And he's very, Hartnelly, because that was his doctor.
Yeah.
And that's
Controversy.
Yeah.
Do we think? I can't remember how this conversation. I had it must have been someone yesterday because I'd obviously started watching it about it was yesterday. The doctor kind of having these romances in his head or her head about companions. We were talking about Jodie, 13th Doctor, and Yaz, and I'd obviously watched this, and it's like, do we think that the Fifth Doctor had a bit of a thing for Nissa? Because I think he did.
Of course he did. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think so. Because
Well,
he just
Peter
basically
Davison probably did.
Yeah,
that's outside. That's not allowed. We're not allowed to talk about that. So.
Isn't it a well established fact that the Doctor likes just short brunettes? It's the way of it, isn't it?
Yeah, that is
God, yeah, it's a possibility.
It's a thing.
It's been obvious over the many years.
I mean, you've got obviously your favourite, Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
You've got
Everybody's favourite, really.
Clara.
Oh yeah, she's a good number 2 or 3.
Yeah, so and then you've got throughout the history of Doctor, you've got Zoe from Patrick Troughton. You've got Dodo.
Patrick likes Zoe, do we? I never picked up on that before. Is there a bit of a
no? I think because
you could go all the way to the fact that he's just each of these characters are all just reminding him of his granddaughter, not in a sexual way. Just
please don't mention the granddaughter again after the last series.
Romance.
Please, you're triggering me.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. But no, it's definitely a thing. But yeah, I love this. I think it's just a fun. There's not a massive amount to say about it because it kind of is what it is. There's not a great depth to it. There's nothing there that you can go, oh, what about this theory, particularly whatever. It's kind of like a factual historic. And what I do like it when Doctor Who does that is sort of adds to, historic events. It's cool.
Yeah. But now it's funny. I know I did little introduction, and Donald is still trying to get hold of me in the background. Listen, sorry, but you're far more important. I loved the way Doctor Who manipulated history as a kid, like the Earth
Yeah.
shock and the Cybermen and the dinosaurs and this and the Rani when she was doing the Luddites, and it was just brilliant. I loved it. I was trying to think of
Mary
modern
Celeste
examples.
with all the you know
Oh,
the
the
chase and all
Daleks!
that
Oh, if
sort
I'd
of
remembered
stuff.
that, I'd have had that in my introduction so much. Yeah, I would have done. Yeah. Did they do it in the new series? Because I couldn't. I know they've had like historical characters
You
like
had
Charles
Pompeii, but
Dickens, but
well, you had Pompeii, but he wasn't. The Doctors wasn't responsible for Pompeii 'cause it just happened, didn't it? You know, the Capaldi and Tennant episode.
yes, yeah.
I can't really think of the top of my head. I mean, there's been a lot of new Doctor Who. 20
Yeah,
years of new Doctor Who, so it's
I know such a
you know,
long
it's
time for it to
yeah,
get
it's a lot
killed
to
like
think
that.
back. But I can't think of anything particularly, you know, like this or like
Yes.
Earthshock, where it's like definitive. The Doctor had some kind of hand in it, or the companions or whatever.
Because they do that a couple of times in in the classic series. I mean, I came up with three without much thought. And then obviously you just come up with the Mary Celeste, and I'm sure there are other examples
Oh,
right through.
yeah, there'll be loads. You know, I mean, it's Doctor Who. You know, I think this is when they started doing at least one historical
Yeah.
or Earth historical a season again because of the work, and BBC does them really well.
And I think because
Did
obviously
you just say Earth historical?
Earth. Well, no, I didn't, but I'm gonna say Earth
I like
historical
that,
because that's good, John. Yeah,
because this is a good way of bringing the historicals back in, isn't it? Because obviously they kind of disappeared in the Troughton era and went a lot more kind of alien invasion and monsters. But then when they do bring history back with like the Awakenings and things like this, it is really lovely to see that it's historical, but it's not pure historical sci-fi, isn't it? It's like Charles Dickens when they have the Gelf and things like that. So you learn social history through it, but it adds that element of science fiction, which is probably what they.
You've just defined science fiction. Thanks very much for that, Craig.
But
Well, I was thinking like when they did it under William Hartnell, they didn't do that. They just did history,
initially,
like the Savages.
No, initially it was just pure historicals. Then they became like science fiction.
That's what I meant. Sorry,
Earth historicals.
Yeah, but then this straight after this story is Black Orchid, which is the first pure historical story since Hartnell's Troughton's era. So there were
was it Highlanders was the last pure historical, wasn't it?
Highlanders was the last pure historical.
Because most people died when they were watching it. So, because they just either boredom or because they aged them over 20 years, because it's about 50,000 episodes long.
I've never seen the Highlanders.
Isn't Craig going to be the nice one of us?
Yeah.
The Highlanders. You've seen the Highlanders, Bob?
It's missing.
Oh, we've seen. Hang on, Highlanders. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting.
You're probably thinking about Outlander with all them honky bodies in there.
No, I'm totally thinking of the War Games. It's the introduction and the exit of Jamie's where my fandom has got mixed up.
You watched that and loved it the second time you watched War Games when we forced you to watch it.
Yeah, I was just lying for the podcast.
You were he's turning out to be a really bad guy.
He just hates Doctor Who, doesn't he?
Changed.
Craig hates Doctor
The
Who.
ending of that last series.
Oh my God! Stop!
I'm going to walk around with Rose on my t-shirt saying invalid.
So basically, you've become a proper Doctor Who fan on the internet now.
Yeah, I've joined the negative committee.
Yeah,
me and
on Twitter.
I'm best friends with everyone that hates Doctor Who now. In fact, I've got to go because Mark's on at the Big Wharf later on playing and meeting him.
Yeah, you can go and slag it off together.
No, it's just the last episode I didn't like a lot.
Oh, bless you. Quite passionate as well.
This is the problem we have when Craig wasn't actually there to say it live. You know, he's got to over the next few episodes.
It's still in there. It's still there.
We're going to get more every time we have one of these. We're going to get a little bit more.
Yeah, it is. It's deep. It's really deep. It's got right to the core of our Doctor Who fandom. What he did, it really did.
Did it? I don't know. I quite liked it. So
anybody
that's nice. That's lovely.
Anybody ever conceived of the word hyperbole? I mean, is that ever no?
Is that French?
I'm never over the top or dramatic, darling. Playing to my audience.
I think have we pretty much done the Visitation?
I was going to say, is there any more thoughts on around this beautiful 80s nostalgia?
Yeah, I particularly enjoyed that middle third.
Middle third was good.
Just leave it at that.
Middle third
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
I mean, middle
solid.
third was padded
Oh,
quite a
it
It
lot.
was
was
a
Not
it
gonna
was
good.
lie.
solid though. It was solid though.
The solid padding, and then the
Middle
last
third of
episode
a
was
4-part story.
yeah.
It progressed the plot. Yeah, yeah.
I have to say that when the android goes into the TARDIS to wrestle or whatever to battle with Nissa with that mask on, you can actually the mask as it goes in bouncing on top of on top of the mask, the costume. And I did find myself thinking, why have they done that? Why have they not just taken the mask off? I know it was meant to be
Oh,
the
when it's
Grim Reaper, but
revealed.
when he's revealed,
Yeah.
it's like I thought that was a little bit silly, but it was an obvious costume mistake at that moment. But so we're on to final thoughts before we then go on to choices for next time. So I'm gonna go to John first. He's got such a strong memory. He's probably gonna
Yeah,
remember his final
it's
2 words from last time.
it is a number of episodes of Doctor Who that I watched there, and
About 4 years ago.
it was a long journey. It was a long journey between
4 years.
between me watching it and actually trying to talk about it here. So much has happened in my life. I'm a different person. It feels like I'm a different person now. So yeah, no, from what I remember, Adric and the Doctor were arguing. That's it. That's all there is. There's a guy with a gun at the start. They're quite big actors. I recognise them, and then nothing.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your 2 words, John?
So what
Fuck
the 2 words there
knows.
then, John?
Fuck knows.
Fuck knows.
Rewatch.
You can't have that.
Suki, darling, your final thoughts and 2 words.
Yeah, well, as I said, this is just a really good memory from my childhood watching this. As it was on twice a week back in those
What was
days.
it? Was it that era? This one, right?
Yeah, this is the start of the twice a week stories.
Right.
And
Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday. I can't remember.
I can't remember if it's
Whatever
Monday,
it was,
Wednesday.
I stopped going to scouts, and the scout leader phoned the house because they were concerned I stopped going. And she said to me, "It's nothing to do with Doctor Who changing time, is it?" I went, "Oh no, nothing to do with Doctor Who." I remember it clear as day in the phone on the cord in the hall.
You're just a
Yeah.
terrible person, aren't you, Craig?
I am honestly, and I'm revealing this darker side to
You
myself
are.
now, John.
It's breaking my
Yeah,
heart.
so yeah, it's my 2 words are it's a nostalgia trip, really. It's a nostalgia trip because it's a great story and it just brings back happy memories for me watching this as a kid.
I think there's a lot of that for us, isn't there? That kind of warmth as a child. How old were you, Suki, when this was on?
11,
35.
what's
About.
up? 11, 12, 11.
Yeah, the babies. All of it. That was very similar for all of us,
I'd
that
have been,
kind of age.
what was it, 82?
Yeah,
82,
early
yeah.
80s, isn't it? 80.
Yeah. So I'd have been
Did Tom Baker go out in 81?
2 or 3.
I mean, I would have definitely watched it at that age because I'd have been about 10. I'd have definitely watched it, but I obviously have no memory of it.
82, February 82.
Bob, final thoughts and final 2 words or 2 words?
Yeah, just it was just I was a bit like, oh, I'll watch this again, but I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the info text, enjoyed the little bits on the Blu-ray and all that sort of stuff that you get. And yeah, just it was Earth Storic.
Now, the music's quite good on this, isn't it, actually?
Oh yes, music.
When you said about the extras, is that one about the music?
Yeah, music is bloody good in this.
Yeah,
it works really well. Yeah.
And it's all keyboard, isn't it? Even the kind of like most of the
But he
keyboard,
makes it sound like old, but it's got that nice sort of modern. I quite like a lot of the 80s music with the synth and stuff.
I do.
But it's just, and the way he does it, like just that kind of 2-chord drone, in the background, or it's sort of, it's very, I don't know what you call it, but of the time, medievally kind of bits and pieces, and
harp and fluty type.
It's really well done.
Version.
I've never seen him interviewed before. The composer, who I can't remember his name,
Paddy Kingsland.
Did he do loads of Doctor Who? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, he did loads of Doctor at the time. The extra that you're going on about, I think that's the one where he's interviewed by Mark Ayres, who's also like radiophonic workshop.
Yeah.
But it's Paddy Kingsland who did the music.
Yeah, definitely wears comfortable shoes, does Mark Ayres. So yeah, that's my. What about you, Craig?
Comfortable shoes. Is that your 2 words, Bob?
Comfortable shoes. Yes, that's my 2 words.
Okay, so I'm gonna echo what everyone else has said. It was even though I've seen this so many times, and it's the first classic who I've watched since we last reviewed a podcast. Um, so it was lovely to go back and watch this. So thank you again.
Palate
And like I
cleanser,
said,
was it, Craig, for you? And
it was what, sorry, Bob?
cleanser after the finale of
Sorry,
season
I can't
2,
talk
whatever
about.
you want to
Please
call it.
stop talking about that because I'm gonna come out and rant in the town again later on. I had to be taken away by the police after watched it. I was homicidal. But no, for me, yeah, given a choice of watching the pterodactyls or that episode, I know exactly where I would go, and it will be this. It will be the pterodactyl. So my final two words were on fire
On fire.
because I love this story. I think it's great. I think it's hot. I think it's fun. But I think more than anything, it's just sweet 80s.
Guess how much these cards are worth?
To me,
There's this a play set of
What are they
Magic,
for our listeners?
Magic,
What are we
Magic,
looking at?
Magic
worth
the
to
Gathering.
me, worth to me, absolutely fuck all, Bob.
Well, I mean, I wish there were, John. So I've just bought these.
How much?
Here's the Sagas, Magic the
Bob,
Gathering
what are they? I
fans.
can see cards, but are they Doctor Who cards? Are
No,
they
no,
what?
no, nothing to do with Doctor Who. They're just
Are
Magic the
they,
Gathering.
have they got gems in them?
I've zoomed in
What?
on you on
But I just want to kind of
Okay, right.
tell you. So I've just bought these, and they were
Right.
£31 each. I've got 4 of them. You do the math
Wow,
for a piece of
fantastic.
cardboard, but they'll be always worth the money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm. I'm not
So,
going to
I
say
mean, I'm not
anything. I'm
bothered.
gonna
Right,
have-
digression.
Comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I thought I went into an alternative reality there where Rose was a doctor. Sorry.
Do you know what?
Anyway,
I
let's
think it's
talk about the ones.
I think it's because Bob's discovered Earth Storic and it's broken
I
him.
do like that word.
No, because it makes him
No, no.
sound. No, because it makes him sound retardis.
Can you say that
Yeah.
nowadays?
I didn't say what you thought I said.
What did
No,
you say?
didn't say.
I said
know, you did.
retardis.
Makes me sound retarded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
retardis.
Retardis.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, innit? Can you say
Stories
retarded
for next
anymore?
time,
I
then,
don't
boys.
know.
So we'll
I don't
start
think
off with Cliff in
I
his
don't think anybody's
absence.
ever said it before.
I mean, retarded
No,
used
I
to
don't
be a
think
big
anyone's
word.
ever said that before.
Like,
There's Cliff's choice for the YouTubers.
Cliff's
Underworld.
is it Underworld? It is
yes,
Underworld.
it is
Underworld
Underworld.
before as well. Am I right in thinking that?
Not
If not, I feel like
I
we
can't
have.
even remember.
I don't think we've
We've
never
not
done it
done
for
it.
around the console.
We've never done it. It's just because I
I
probably
don't
watched it when it was released on box set there. So Underworld from Cliff. Thank you very much, Cliff. In absence, we love you even though you're not here. And let's go next to John. I'm going to John purely because he might choose something he wants to watch this time. In fact, let's make sure it's something that John hasn't seen before, so he has to
Okay.
watch it.
I don't know whether we've all seen it, but I've randomized it on the randomizer, and it's the Macra Terror.
Oh, the Macatera.
Ooh, that's on a that's
we
on
have
a
done that.
yeah on
Have we
animation.
done that? Have I
Yeah.
done that?
Might have been the end of Proctor.
Yeah, I don't think around the console have done it.
Yeah.
We
Well,
haven't done
that's not a limitation. Have I done it? It's a limitation.
No.
No.
We'd have to be on check on the actual.
Oh, I don't have that information nor the memory.
But it's an
Well,
animated one, isn't it?
But it's all right. Oh, is it? All right.
Yeah.
I'll take it back then. That sounds
Right,
awful.
Macatera. Is it a choice of Macatera? So we've got
Should we come
Underworld.
back? Let's go back to John. Let's keep
Let's
going.
go back to John. Bob, what are we going with?
I'm either going to choose Remembrance of Daleks or the War Games in colour, the edited 90 minutes.
Okay.
Which one do you prefer I choose?
I'm not going to say because you'll choose the opposite. I know you well enough.
No, I won't. I'm not in a cunty mood. So
Remembrance of the Daleks, definitely.
all right, Remembrance of Daleks. And that's
I
my
love
choice.
Dalek story. I've not done Daleks for ages.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought a cracking Dalek t-shirt the other day. Bit tight though. It's a motivation to lose a bit of weight to make it actually fit me. I'm not sure it's going to work. So, Remembrance of the Daleks, Underworld, Suky.
Oh,
I'm going to choose that, which is a Sontaran experiment.
Sontaran experiment. We've
2
never done that.
episodes. 45 minutes, that, John.
Yeah.
2 episodes, John.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right. I'm having a look here. The Mask of Mandragora.
Oh, that'd be a good one, Tom Baker.
That's what the random book has
Sarah
happened
Jane.
now.
Yeah.
It's all ticking a lot of boxes for me. I've never done it. Definitely not.
It's good. Yeah.
Oh, that's mine. Yep.
Right. So mine, bit of a random one. I'm not sure I'm going to feel about it, but I've got this urge this afternoon to watch it. The Power of Kroll.
Is that part of the key to time?
It is.
Yes.
Oh, that was it. I did think this because I actually thought we should do the Peter Time as a series, as the lot of it. But then that's like 6 episodes, isn't it? 4.
The whole,
Yeah.
well, the
6
key,
stories.
six adventures times
Yeah.
four episodes, and last one 6
I thought that'd be
episodes.
quite good to do, actually.
Well, the thing is with
Forgot
Key to
about that
Time, although it's got a very, very loose theme of the Guardians, it's not
Yes.
really.
They're not connected, are they?
No, they're all
No.
just separate stories, which
Yeah.
works quite well for a season of Old Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Power of Kroll for me. So Underworld, Power of Kroll, Remembrance of the Daleks, Sontaran Experiment. John, back to you.
The Mask of Mandragora.
Yeah, he's John's
Mask of Mandragora. Pop them in the randomizer for. Or it's about to. It's time to shake your dice.
I have a dice. 6, roll again. 2. Suky.
Oh,
Oh,
Sontaran
what did I
Experiment.
pick? Sontaran, 2-parter. Well done. Thank you.
There's not a lot to talk about, is there, in a 2-parter?
I mean,
Short.
well, why don't we do that and the other 2-parter, which is
That's
The
never stopped
Awakening.
Craig, has it? Really? I mean,
I'm just saying, like, we could, probably do something else as well. Because it's
Why
only...
don't we roll the dice again?
What for?
Do a double bonanza. Come on.
Oh, yeah,
let's
we could
do
do
it.
that. That's a good idea.
you're
That's a good
breaking up.
idea.
You're breaking up, guys. You're breaking up. Crackle, crackle.
3.
Yeah.
Who's 3?
I'll have a look. I've just closed it all down, so I'm going to have to go back in again. Me!
Which is
Remembrance
Remembrance
of
of
the
the
Daleks.
Daleks. That's difference in time shift, isn't it?
Yeah. That's quite a nice little thing, innit? We could do, like, Remembrance as the main and do Sontaran as the bonus.
Well,
No one Suki doesn't feel upset about that. Or
Can-
maybe because it was Suki's thing.
No,
Maybe we should
don't.
have given Suki a B choice.
I'm just thinking
No,
two parts of a running round. It's not, you don't have much to talk about. That's the
You're
only
not-
thing,
no,
isn't it?
I agree. There's not a lot in the Sontaran Experiment to discuss it, much though it's a wise choice, Suki.
And I really want John to see Remembrance of the Daleks.
sure, I've
Have you
seen
never seen
it.
Remembrance of the Daleks?
I'm
Really?
sure I have. I'm sure I've seen all the Daleki ones.
I thought
Yeah.
we'd done all the Daleki ones.
But it's
and I'm always happy to watch
but
Remembrance.
it's the one that I go, like, if people ask new Who fans ask about classic Who, it's like Remembrance of the Daleks, Caves of Androzani, and
Well-
then maybe Genesis at a push. But they're the two I'd always recommend a new Who fan to go watch classic series.
Well, I will watch the first 10 minutes of it, and if I watched it before, I'll turn it off, and then we'll have the same situation we had before.
10 minutes of what?
Whatever it
It's
is.
okay because you've got two. You've got Sontaran Experiment to watch as well, which we
Yeah.
have never
That's
ever
not.
reviewed.
That's not.
either on
I'm
this
not.
or
How
Peter.
many episodes is the Bob one?
4.
4.
So I've got to watch 6 episodes of Doctor Who when I could watch 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
but we're your friends, so you'll enjoy doing
Well,
it.
Yeah,
your
that's-
two-part, John, is Sarah
That's
Jane.
stretching. Oh yeah, that's true.
That's not work.
No, that's not. That's mostly pleasure. You're right.
Going back to Macroterror we did in 2019. This is just before you joined Proctor full time, John, and
Oh
you
my
were
God.
doing Game of Thrones for us with
All right. Okay.
yes.
And have we ever done the Master of Mandragora? Oh, sorry.
No, we haven't. I mean, that would be a cool one to do.
Right, keep it
I'm
on the
thinking of
boil,
Androids
boys.
of Tara. I'm getting mixed with Androids of Tara. Is what I'm thinking.
No, we've not
that,
done Mask of Mandragora before.
No, we've not. No, that's
It's a fun one.
fine. Keep it as your choice, John. Keep it as your choice for the next one.
So
One day that dice will roll in your favour.
Sontaran Experiment and the other one,
Remembrance of the Daleks.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and obviously in the WhatsApp, just drop the season number in it, and I'll figure it out.
Cool.
So I hope you enjoyed our little reminiscence of the 80s. Listeners.
I didn't really.
Until next time.
No. Oh,
Did
sorry.
you not, John? Well, maybe if you actually go back and watch it, you might
If
appreciate
I
it
participated,
just
I
a touch
might
more.
have enjoyed it more. Yeah, probably. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
didn't. Did I? I didn't. So
No,
didn't.
I know.
No.
I don't know what to say about it, really. I mean, I'm a
Alright,
bit heartbroken for Liam
so-
because
so-
he chose that with you in
I
mind
know
as
it's
well.
pretty much Liam's fault. So I mean,
is Liam's
I mean,
fault.
Don't say anything
I'm-
about Liam.
no, I'm not going to say anything to blame, but you can fuck off. I'm not having that. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Talking
Yeah.
of Liam, he's just dropped to the Spotlight episode, which I'm on, called where we review a Star Trek.
You're on it,
episode.
are you?
What a surprise! You're on another
Everything,
podcast.
Suki. I turn on
No,
Channel
I
4
haven't
News
been.
when
I
you're
have
on it.
lately. I've not guested on any other people's podcasts. I think Liam's is the last one, and that's been a while ago.
Is that because you've been everywhere and no one will have you back?
I think might be the reason.
It's
Actually,
Suky or Suky?
yeah, it is
Stickies.
happening. I could tell. I could see from your faces as well. You know, what's he doing on this podcast? Get off.
Well, we've got a meeting after you've dropped out about a new podcast we're creating, which is
Breakaway,
just
a breakaway one.
yeah,
Yeah.
breakaway group, which
Breakaway.
is everyone but you, Suki. That's cruel. That's
It's,
horrible.
it's
I've
in
got
fact,
to be slightly-
in fact, we were name thinking of it, and the idea of calling it everything but you, Sucky, is the name of the podcast.
Because what we're gonna do, Suki, is we're gonna start reviewing episodes of Battlestar Galactica from the 80s, 70s, and 80s under the name Around the Console, because you know that podcast that you do where you do review Doctor Who and it's a Star Trek podcast.
Check this out, which you created.
Yeah, I won't get into that.
I did the art for it. I did the art.
John did the art.
John did the artwork.
Yeah.
And also I've been rewatching Strange New Worlds. It's brilliant. Strange New Worlds is the best Star Trek, by the way.
Starts 2 weeks from now.
Is it? Oh, I can get the. I've done the
3
first season. I'll get the second season in before season 3 starts. And start going to America to watch it.
Oh. We actually signed up to Paramount to watch Discovery and then Strange New Worlds. I just can't do Discovery at all. I've tried twice now and I just can't do it. Strange New Worlds I've never seen, but I really want to watch it.
Just forget Discovery. Oh well, no, because Discovery can't.
At the same time, it doesn't engage with me.
Discovery does bring in the new.
If you're struggling with Discovery, just drop it and do Strange New Worlds.
We've struggled with it massively. We've watched so many other programs in between. In fact,
you're not the only person.
Discovery or the last episode of Doctor Who. Probably.
I'd say Discovery is good, apart from season 4. That's what I'd say about Discovery. And then it kind of makes me a bit sick because they're all a bit. But I still enjoyed season 5. When did the Pike crew come into it briefly? Was it the season
end of season
3?
2 or 3?
It was 3 because they're the ones that got them out.
Yeah, end of season 2. Yeah, end of season 2 and beginning of season 3.
But definitely, like I mean, the tiny bit of backstory is you'll have seen it in the pilot episode of original series of Star Trek. If you've seen that, it's when Pike sees his future and he's in the wheelchair and whatever else. But he explains all that. You don't need to go back and.
To be honest, if you want a Star Trek fix, just go and start watching Lower Decks and Prodigy. Their animation.
Well, you're not a child.
Different.
So
don't.
Strange New
Watch
Worlds.
Prodigy. Prodigy is fantastic.
Shit.
And
no, I think Strange New Worlds. Then I'll do
Lower Decks is really, really good for your nostalgia because it just brings back so many old characters and stuff.
You can take Suki's advice, but you do remember he enjoys watching things like Ever Decreasing Circles and shit like that.
I've not seen Ever Decreasing Circles.
It's the sort of thing you would have seen.
Watch any old shit.
You'll be getting around to it.
Oh, not seen Ever Decreasing Circles.
After Juliet Bravo, we'll be getting around to it.
I haven't got watched Juliet Bravo.
Do you really recommend?
I mean, I can see the thing going around now.
I get Lower Decks, right? I get Lower Decks. It's a bit
funny, yeah.
But Prodigy,
yes. Bob, honestly, if you ask the ladies on Check This Out as well, they've all seen it because it's like a sequel to Voyager, and they bring back so many characters from Voyager.
But the first couple of episodes I struggled with, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, it does because it's setting up the story.
Right.
And then it starts building in the lore and bringing back characters and situations that you've had from the past in Voyager, and then that's where it's suddenly built up, and it is a.
Because they're the only. It's the only. I mean, I've seen bits of Lower Decks in the first couple of Prodigies, but I've never really persisted with it, and it's the only Star Trek I've not seen. So
Lower Decks is brilliant.
Lower Decks is
great. I'm not seeing Prodigy. The same reason I watched episode 1 and thought, not for me.
Yeah, interesting.
How long is an episode of Lower Decks? About half an hour.
It's like a 15, 20-minute cartoon.
Like Simpsons, Futurama. But Strange New Worlds, Craig, is fucking outstanding. It's the best.
Anyway, on this Doctor Who, but after we've been slagging off, check this out for doing Doctor Who things, we're doing Star Trek now. Come on.
Don't worry, you'll all be invited on.
I'm not worried. I'm just trying to get. I'm not worried. I'm just trying to get this fucking thing to end. So.
Right, with that, listeners, if you have stayed on for this little additional Star Trek moment, thank you. But if not, we won't be hearing it anyway, will you? So if you have stayed on, thank you, and we shall see you again next month when we are reviewing a double bonanza of Sontaran Experiment from Suky and from Bob, Remembrance of the Daleks. Till then, take care and love everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.